I know the hour's growing late. Your patience must be taxed, so I'll be quite quick. I'll introduce myself, invite you to ask questions, and sit down. But I think the beauty of this panel here, of the 6 HBCUs, is our interconnection in our network. So, for example, at the FAMU Law School, I was a consultant there shortly before my colleague Jim Douglas get the school back online and gain American Bar Association accreditation after the state of Florida has stolen the school over the summer in the middle of the night, shipped the books over to the white Florida State University, closed the school, and left the students stranded in the middle of the year with no school to attend. Thanks to President Fred Humphrey and many other supporters, the state of Florida created new law schools in the early 2000s, one in the middle of the state at Florida A&M, another in the southern part of the state at Florida International. I've been with the President's Initiative on HBCUs, and you've heard that I'm part of the legal team that sued the state of Maryland on behalf of the HBCUs, saying that they still commit the same degree of segregation, not in assigning students, but in the unequal treatment of Morgan and Coppin, Maryland, Bowie State Universities. We won a judgment on liability several years ago that they created the duplication of services between the traditional white institution and the black institution, going back to trial in December of January in order to settle on the remedy. And of course, my beloved NCCU, I was the Charles Hamilton Houston Distinguished Professor, and Dean Craig Taylor was so gracious as a post-dean, and I taught a seminar on the history, the culture, and the legality of HBCUs. My alma mater is Howard University, with Dean Reggie over there. I graduated from Howard University in 1969, and I'm proud to be in school where Thurgood Marshall attended, and so did Charles Hamilton Houston, my hero. Brother Jim Douglas and I have been together for over 40 years, way back when he was up in Northeastern in the early 1970s. And Brother Douglas and Denise Carter-Benia, one of the outstanding female law professors who died much too early in her career, and I all associated with each other during that time. And for 22 years later, I was a professor at the University of Connecticut in the capital city of Hartford, Connecticut, where you heard about that school desegregation case that I brought up there in Connecticut. And finally, at Southern, John Pierre and I have been tied at the hip for many years, particularly in our associations between Thurgood Marshall School of Law, Southern School of Law, and right after Katrina, John Pierre and I, and a big law firm from New York called Schulte, Roth, and Zabel, brought suit against FEMA after Hurricane Katrina, in which we represented tens of thousands of evacuees to get them housing in all of those places where they were temporarily been assigned to the Astrodome in Houston, the domes in Baton Rouge, the domes in Jackson, Mississippi. We brought them all housing and we did them together. And so I wind up saying that whether you pick one or you pick the other, you can't go wrong going to an HBCU. I am standing in for our dean, Shelley Broderick, who will be here tomorrow. But I leave you with one quote from Charles Hamilton Houston, the father of Brown versus Board of Education, the decision that broke the back of Jim Crow segregation. And Charles Hamilton Houston said, a lawyer is either a social engineer or a parasite to society.